In the multitude of counsel, there is safety. Welcome to the All Things Done podcast, a vision inspired by the truth found in God's Word and designed to inform, educate, and impact you in every way. My name is Akitunde Idowu, and I am your host. Join us as we embark on a journey to becoming a better version of ourselves.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I am Eniola Oni by Emmanuel, and I'll be hosting today's episode of the All Things podcast. Do me a favor, send to your friends, your family, your classmates, everyone, send them this link. Let them listen to this episode. It's going to be inspiring and it's going to be encouraging. All right, today we'll be having a very important and interesting topic. You know, back then in primary school, we do sing this song. Once opportunity is lost, it can never be regained. Do not waste your precious time, for the time is moving on. Yeah, that song, we do sing it and we all dance to it very well. But do we even know what the song is trying to tell us? Well, today we're going to know about it. Today we'll be talking about mastering time management. Mastering time management. Time is something that is very, very important in our day-to-day activities, and how can we master it and make it useful for us is what we'll be learning today. And we have personnel amongst us. Her name is Miss Eniola Oni. Her relationship with the Lord, preaching the gospel and making tangible social impact in her world is what she lives for. She is also a marketing strategist and convener of Dear Lady 360 Degree, an initiative with the burden to help females become better versions of themselves and to be qualified to sit at tables. Her faults are leadership, administration, management, social impact, advocacy, mentorship, and marketing. And she'll be doing justice to this topic, mastering time management. Hello, good afternoon, ma'am. Can we meet you, ma'am?
Good afternoon, Joba. Thank you so much. My name is Eniola, as has been said, or Eniola Oni better still. And yes, I'm excited to be here really to talk and also to learn in a way. And yeah, so let's get the ball rolling.
All right, without wasting much time. So the first question I have for you is, please define and explain the subject matter, time management.
Okay, so can you hear me well?
Yeah, I can. You can move on.
So I believe that time management is just the ability to be able to make good use of your time to get things done. And like you notice that I actually said good use of your time because there's actually a bad use of time. So time management is when you're able to use your time well, make good use of it to get the things that you need to get done. So basically that's like the simple definition I'm going to give right now, and then we'll talk about it even as we move on. Yeah.
All right. Time management is the ability to make good use of your time. Well, I think at the end of the episode, I will know probably I've been making bad use of my time. All right, the next question I have for you is, can you please explain, you touch different areas of your life, how you manage your time effectively?
Okay. So, I do a lot of things. I actually do a whole lot of things. I work as a marketing strategist. I'm also still a student. I'm studying. I serve in my fellowship as the vice president. I am a convener of Delegating, which is the mentorships for girls. You know, I do quite a number of stuff like top of my head right now. I mentor people. I also find time to add value to myself, personal development and all of that. But one thing I've realized is that if we follow a particular set of principles, you always be able to get things done. And that is the truth. So how I'm able to manage my time amongst all of these things, I was talking about just 4 things basically. And one thing, which is one of the most important things for me, is that I outsource. So outsourcing is in the sense that there's some things that are not so important for me that it doesn't really matter if I do them. So those kind of things, I outsource them if I see someone that can do it better. So for instance, I actually work 3 jobs, even as I'm doing every other thing I'm doing in my life. I'm working 3 jobs. And one of the jobs requires me to have a particular team to do something. So really, I can actually decide to do that thing on my own and do everything. I can decide to be or a content writer, and a director, the strategist, and all of that. But I intentionally choose to outsource, and I bring in a copywriter, I bring in an art director to work together with me for that job. A job that I am supposed to be doing alone. I'm like, my employer would not really mind if I do it alone with a team. So I found out that it doesn't really mind if I do it with a team. So I got in 2 people and I share out of my salary with them. I'm sorry, I don't want to share money, but the truth is that you have to learn to outsource if you are really going to get things done productively. So I realized that if I keep doing these things by myself, I will not really have as much time for my fellow to serve as the vice president, because that actually requires a lot of administrating and discipline of people and all of that. And since that is so important for me, and also preaching the gospel, I would not want to take out of those times to be doing my work. So I actually outsource, and then those people get the work done, we work together, and things are easier for me. Outsourcing is actually in a lot of forms. You can say that, I don't necessarily have to do my laundry myself when I can outsource it. But one thing I have to take note of is that when you're outsourcing, ensure you're using the time for other productive things. Do you get? It's not like you're outsourcing so that you can be lazy. You're outsourcing so that you can just do anything you want to do. No, you're out. As trivial as because you want to rest, because rest is also important. So I outsource a lot. That's one thing that I do. Another thing that I do is that I delegate. So I'm going to talk about some things as we go on, but let me talk about this one first. So I delegate in the sense that when I see a particular thing that I have to do on my schedule, and I realize that there's somebody around me that are probably trained to do that thing, because I actually am very involved in mentoring. I mentor people a whole lot of times. So when I say that, there's somebody I've mentored and can do this thing, I'll just hand it over to them, get this thing done. Let me give you an example. So over the weekend, we were at a camp where we went to preach the gospel, went to learn, and I also was able to minister and teach Bible study. So I was made the coordinator for Bible study at that camp, and we were supposed to work on an outline before we go to the camp. And I realized that at that particular weekend, I was supposed to work on the outline. I had the outline to work on. I had 3 deadlines for my 3 different jobs that I had not yet done, and I had a list of other things to set on my schedule list. And I called somebody that was also in the Bible study unit, one of the people that were working together for the outline. He's also somebody that I trust his judgment, I trust his Bible knowledge, and I trust his accurate doctrine. So I went to him and I told him that, bro, so and so, I need you to finish off this outline because I can't do it myself. I am so busy and I need to submit this thing to my boss tonight. So I had to give that to him. And I just knew that he could handle it, and then he did a good job. So that is delegating. So what you have to know about delegating is that ensure that the person you are giving the job to can do it almost as well as you can. Another thing is that perfectionism is a myth. A lot of us will be like, the person cannot do it as well as I can do it. It's a myth. If you have taught somebody to do something, let them do it, right? You wouldn't expect a perfect job, really, but just let them do it, else you just kill yourself. So I delegate to people. So when I did that, this particular thing, it doesn't require me exactly to do it. If I feel like it actually requires me to do it, I can't delegate. But if it doesn't require me exactly to do it and somebody else can do it, then I delegate it. So now I think the most important things that we should talk about concerning how I manage my time is structure. Please let me know when I'm talking too much.
I'm with you.
Okay, thank you. So structure, I live a pretty structured life, and so based on all the things that I do, one thing that I do is that I give a day to a particular activity. So I work with 3 organizations, for instance. Then there's BSF Unilag. There is my church that I submit to. There are other things that I'm doing. There is my DLA 360 that I'm also involved in. So I give every major activity of my life to every particular day. So for instance, my job 1 has all of my Monday, my job 2 has all of my Tuesday, my job 3 has all of my Wednesday, then BSF Unilag has my Thursday, then this has my Friday. So the major things in my life have different days of the week that I devote to really give attention to them. They are not the only things I do on those days, but I devote a greater amount of attention to those things on those days. So I could say that, for today, because today is my day for working with this particular organization, I'm going to give this particular organization 7 hours of my day. So that is how I'm able to put that kind of structure to be able to help me to be productive and to get things done. So you can also want to do something like that when you realize that, you actually have quite a number of things you are involved in. You want to attach them to different days. What that helps you to do is that you don't jumble everything together. Because if you say you want to do everything that you do with your life in just one day, maybe per day, you might end up not doing so much with any of those things. So when you give each of them to each day, you are able to address each of them uniquely per day. So that's one thing that I do. Then the next thing that I do is that I schedule. Scheduling is a big part of my life. I schedule a lot. And what do I mean by this? And so every day, most often than not, a night before, I have a list of all the things I want to do for the next day. Now, remember that I said that I dedicate a particular day of the week to a particular job. So let's say that today is the day for working with one of my organizations. So I already put it there. Okay, I'm working with a particular organization from this time to this time. And then other things I'm supposed to do today, so I put it down in my schedule. So I have it in my schedule. So the thing is that I am so very strict with that schedule that if you come to me this morning and you tell me that, oh, you need to do something, trust me, I won't do that this morning. I won't do it today again. If you need to do something, you have to tell me at least 24 hours before, because my day is planned. And it takes the grace of God, the love of Jesus, and the Holy Spirit to get me to break my schedule for you. So you have to, and now because people know me for that, people have come to respect my time the way I respect my time. So I schedule a lot, and I have everything I want to do per day. I have them written down many times. I even attach time to them, and I really, really counsel people to actually put time to them. Because if you don't put time to what you're supposed to do, what happens is that, let's say you say, okay, today I've already scheduled my day and I'm going to do 5 things. Then you don't add time to them. Trust me, you can do one thing for the whole day. Because I've forgotten the name of this principle that an activity expands to fill the time you give it. What do I mean? Let's say that, okay, I write my church's devotionals, for instance. And let's say I plan that, okay, I'm going to write devotionals today. If I had not put that, I'm writing devotionals from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. If I did not put that, and I just say, I'm writing devotionals today, if I am not careful, my devotional time writing will expand throughout the whole day, and I'll realize that that's the only thing I did throughout the day. But if I put a timeline to it, my brain focuses on that timeline, and my brain will want me to finish up that thing within that time range. When there's no time range, you can use the whole day to do just one thing, when you could have done 5 or 6 things. All right, that is why it is very, very important to add time to whatever it is that you're doing. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for those points. A quick recap on what she said. The first thing she said was multitasking. Now, some of you are involved in too many things. She's trying to tell you that if you know of someone that can do it better, or someone that can do it as much as you can, always delegate. You can't be involved in many things. You can't do everything at the same time. It's for your own sanity. Delegate to people who can do things just like you do them. She also said, have a good structure. Don't jumble activities together. I think I've learned from that one. I like the jumble activities. Don't jumble activities together. Schedule different times and different days for specific activities. And most importantly, avoid distractions and people breaking into your schedule. All right, next question for you, Ma. I also have doubts, and I'm very sure many people listening to this podcast have doubts. They are doubting whether they are doing some things that is not a good attitude for someone that is managing his time. So can you please state different examples of activities teenagers, to be specific, do that is not really ideal for someone who wants to manage his or her time? Let me explain more. I might be playing football. So will you tell me if football is not a good attitude of someone who is managing time? Because our time is very crucial. So just list some of these activities teens find themselves doing that is not a good thing for time management.
Well, I'm not the Holy Spirit, so I cannot tell you that, this particular thing that you're doing is you not managing your time well. And I think that's not even ideal, because for you, playing football might not be ideal, but for a teenager whose dream and aspiration is to become a footballer, playing football might be the thing he wants to do every day, because that means he's actually managing his time properly. So I feel like talking about activities would not really help in this case, because it's actually relative. But one thing I can do is that I can talk about things that when you are doing them, you know that you're using your time rightly. So the opposite of that is that when you're not doing them, it means you're not using your time right. Yeah. Is that fine? Should I do that?
Yes, you can do that also. That would be perfect.
Okay. All right. So I actually have 5 things that I'm not going to mention in passing. Number 1, if you are doing things that will yield positive returns in your future, you are managing your time well. I'll talk about that if there's time. Number 2, if you are doing things that will make you a better version of yourself, you are managing your time well. And what do I mean by this? You realize that, this is something I want to achieve with my life. And then you realize that, these are the things that I have to do to achieve those things that I want to achieve in my life. Let's say, okay, I want to become a medical doctor. So what are the things I need to do to become a medical doctor? I have to get into a university. I have to, get my residency. I have to do that, I have to do that. So once you know this is what I want to do in my life, I know these are the things I want to do, I must do to achieve that thing, then you are doing those things consistently. That's what I mean by doing things that make a better version of yourself. So if you are doing that, you are managing your time well. But three, if you are doing things that will improve the quality of life of other people. Oh, I'm so big on social impact. I'm so big on that. Because of you, somebody is smiling. Because of you, somebody can say, oh, because of Joba, because of Eniola, my life got better. If you are doing that, you're managing your time well. Number 4, if you are doing something of eternal value, of course, that is preaching the gospel. I mean, I'm so big on preaching the gospel and the ministry of reconciliation. So if you are doing any or all of these 4 things, you can be sure that you are doing something that, that is helping, that you are doing the right thing really with your time, and then that's a thumbs up for you. But I think one thing that that if you do, you are not managing your time well, is doing things for instant gratification. And I know how sweet instant gratification can look like, because for instance, you have to read books for school, but the draw of the latest Korean movie is just pulling you so much that you cannot resist, and then you go to watch it. Then you spend 6 hours doing that. You love Korean movies, so catch your sub. Oh my! So you now decide to, okay, let me go and watch the Korean movie. At least book will not give me joy, but Kujumpyo will give me joy. So you go and follow Kujumpyo. Now, after 6 hours of watching Kujumpyo, you realize that you just most probably wasted 6 hours of your life doing nothing. And if you had used that 6 hours to read your book, you know how much knowledge you would have amassed? I'm sure that at least if they ask this particular question in my exam, their daddy, I will finish it up. But you did not do that. You spent 6 hours watching Kujumpyo. Now, Kujumpyo has made his money from you watching him and him keeping you entertained, but you have just wasted 6 hours of your time. So if you are doing things for instant gratification consistently, you're not managing your time well at all. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Ma. A quick recap of what she said. Things that will yield positive return, and things that will make you a better version of yourself. And most importantly, things of internal value shows that you are managing your time well. And the opposite is doing things for instant gratification shows you're not managing your time well. All right, Ma, the last question, or probably the second to the last question. In 1 minute, can you please explain this popular saying? The same, I sang a song at the beginning of the podcast, and once opportunity is lost, or once time lost can never be regained. What does this saying mean, and how does it apply to our lives?
Okay, so basically, I don't know if you can relate to the fact that you just look back on your life and you're like, wait, I was 16 just yesterday, and now I'm already 25, I'm already 27. Because I'm already 19. How did I become 19? I was just 16 yesterday.
Wow.
That is how time
I have that feeling every time.
You have the feeling? Yeah, I mean, even me right now, I'm not a teenager anymore, glory to God, but I still have those feelings sometimes that, wait, when I was just like 16 or something some time ago. But the truth is that what makes it beautiful when you remember that you were just 16 few years ago is that you utilize your time so well and you have become a better person. But if you were still the same person you were 16 years ago, and you look back and you look like you realize that you've not really made so much progress with your life, you've not really done so much things with your life since you were 16, then there is a problem. And the truth is that time between that 16 to where you are now, to whatever age you are now, you can't regain that time anymore. It is lost forever. So that's what it means, that once you've lost a time, you can't regain it again, because time does not respect anybody. Time only answers to those who utilize it well. Time will not say that because you are rich and you are not utilizing this, it's now like, let me just help you and patch it. No. So what I'm going to say here is that when you are investing in yourself with time, it will show. When you are not, it will show. That is just it.
When you invest in yourself with time, it will show. And when you're not, it will show. That's a very, very strong word, Ma. And the last question for you, Ma, is not really a question. This podcast is for teenagers, for youths, for adolescents, etc. So what's your word for every teenager out there? What's your word for every youth out there?
Okay, so I just want to give a kind of counterbalance to all I've been saying earlier. But please, I want us to listen carefully so that we don't take my words out of context. So what I want to say is really no pressure. I was saying earlier that, you think that, I was just 16 years some 3 years ago. What happened to me? Where did all the time go? I've not really achieved the things I want to achieve. But the truth is that there is no pressure. And what I mean by this is that you can effectively manage your time while not placing yourself under so much pressure. The truth is that a lot of us right now, because of the way everything is, you hear about a 16-year-old boy making 25 million naira per month, and you're like, God, what's wrong with my life? So a lot of people want to do so much before they reach a particular age, maybe even age 20 or age 21. But what I want you to hold on to is that even if you are not what you want to be or haven't achieved what you plan to achieve at a certain age, but you are intentionally doing the right things at the right time, you are intentionally working on yourself, you are intentionally living with so much intentionality and purpose daily. Not that you are just letting life pass you, or you are doing unproductive things, or you are spending 6 hours watching good you feel like someone that has to catch his stuff. Once you are doing the right things within those period of time, it's only a matter of time. The truth is that some things just take time. So what I'm going to end with is that take comfort and assurance in the fact that as long as you're on the right path, you will get to the right destination. Thank you.
Okay, I think this last message was very strong. Many things out there, you guys should listen. Don't feel discouraged. Probably you are getting older and you are like, I have this thought sometimes that what progress have I made in my life? Am I even improving? Am I progressing? Don't get under pressure. Add value to yourselves. Do things that will add value to yourselves. And as she said, engage your time in things that will yield positive return and also social impact. If you are doing these things constantly, then you will stop having those thoughts of if you have had progress in your life or not. Thank you very much, ma'am, for having us in our podcast. If you are listening to this podcast, send to your friends, your family, your mom, your dad. It's for everybody, actually, not only for teens, but specifically for teens. Send to them. Let them listen to these things we've said on this podcast, and also follow us on our social media handle. And God bless you as you do so. Have a lovely afternoon. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. If you have been blessed by this topic, please share with your friends and also drop reviews on the community page or our email. You can also share with us burdens on your heart or topics you would want us to talk about. Feel free to give to promote the spread of this podcast by partnering with us on our website at allthingsdenpodcast.disha.page. Thank you for your constant support. See you next week.